What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Full-Time MMA, and holy smokes, Marlon Vera versus Dominick Cruz just happened. We're going to talk about this exciting fight card that just went down. We're going to break down the main event, the co-main event, and another fight between two young female prospects that were all just fireworks. The last three fights of the night all could have won fight of the night or performance of the night. It was action packed. But before we get started, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe button, and the notification bell. Don't be a baby back bagel biting beta male, because you know what time it is. It's full-time MMA. That is correct. Marlon Vera versus Dominick Cruz just went down, and it was a hell of a fight card. I mean, starting with the 20-year-old prospect, strawweight prospect female versus the 23-year-old. Both of these girls got bright futures. They were in there swinging and banging like Derek Lewis. I can't think of their names off the top of my head. One of their names was like Lupita. One was Brazilian, one was Mexican. But they were in there and they were throwing down, and it set the tone for the co-main event. That was, of course, between David Onama from Kansas City and Nate the Train Landwehr from Tennessee. These guys were in there throwing down. David Onama almost finished Nate Landwehr in the first round. He let out all of his gas trying to get the finish, and so he ended up getting extremely tired, which allowed Nate Landwehr to come back and win the next two rounds in an exciting Diaz brother-like fashion. He was in there talking stuff, pumping up the crowd. Both of these guys were really tired, or else Nate Landwehr might have got the finish in the second or third round. He was really working, getting close a lot of the times on some submissions. Onama was just out of it, gassed. That man, he couldn't breathe, which allowed the comeback, and it allowed a lot of entertaining moments in that fight. It was a come from behind majority decision win for Nate Landwehr, but it was also a very entertaining, exciting fight. They had the arena going crazy going into the main event, which was, of course, Dominick Cruz versus Marlon Vera. Now, this fight, Dominick Cruz came out swinging. He came out pleasantly surprising me with his aggression. He was not being a veteran that was fighting to not lose. Instead, he was fighting to win, and it looked like Dominick Cruz was about to win the fight. He had won the first two rounds for sure. Round three was a lot closer, but round four is where the magic happened. In round four, Marlon Vera, he had already dropped Cruz a couple of times. He had dropped him with a couple hooks. He dropped him with a jab at one point because Cruz was on the way in. But Marlon Vera, even though he was losing the rounds and potentially on the way to losing the decision, he had dropped Cruz. He was softening him up. And what happened was, in the fourth round, as you seen earlier in the picture, Marlon Vera landed a head kick that instant Mike parried Dominick Cruz and broke his nose. Shout out to Stamina MC for the instant Mike parry, because that's exactly what happened. You see right there, that's the head kick that ended it all in round four. And if you look closely, you can see Dominick Cruz's nose immediately after the kick was broken. I'm going to enlarge it for you. But if you look over here at Dominick Cruz's nose, that was immediately after the kick. That's the instant Mike parry. That thing hit like a baseball bat, and then Dominick Cruz ended up face planting because he was out of it, and Cruz landed a couple more shots, which could not have been good for that newly broken nose. But holy smokes, that was a crazy way to end the night. Another potential fight of the night, another potential performance of the night. The UFC is just going to have to start giving these people bonuses like candy. Like, it's almost like the UFC Contender Series contract. Sometimes the fights are so good, you got to give almost everyone a contract. Sometimes the fights are so good here, you got to give everybody a bonus. And we have three great fights to end the night, between the prospects to the up and coming star like Nate Landwehr, all the way to the vets and the title contenders like Dominick Cruz and Marlon Vera. Phenomenal night of fights. Great fights coming up every week from here on out for a while. Last week's fight card was all finishes, 100% finish rate. These fighters are really stepping up, and it's a great time to be back covering a great sport. MMA, the UFC, these fighters are really seeming motivated these days, and I'm looking forward to the next fight card, the next pay-per-view. Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards 2. We got Gane versus Tuivasa coming up. Just nothing but good headliners and good fight cards coming up. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let me know what you think about Dominick Cruz versus Marlon Chito Vera in the comments. I am out.